YouTube! Welcome to day 20 of my birthday countdown vlog. It means there's only 20 more days until my 40th birthday. We're halfway there. Alright, so now I'm thinking about, it'll be the year 1992, and that year primarily I was focused on school and work and school more than anything else. But one thing I remember that year was basically the beginning of my love affair with Windows and with the web. It was earlier in the year when our university switched a lot of our computer labs over from our old mainframe VAX system to Windows 3.1. And other labs had been running on MS-DOS. And they switched those over to, definitely switched all the DOS labs over to Windows 3.1. And while in retrospect, yes, Windows 3.1 sucked, just like a lot of the Windows OSs did. At the time, going from everything being text only, orange or green on a black screen, to all these pictures, that seemed very high-res at the time. I just fell in love with it. I'm a very visual person. I learn better with visual input than I do through audio input, and definitely through pictures more than through text. So that was just, for me, it was just amazing, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. I know it crashed a lot, and that did get somewhat frustrating. But I still loved it, and once I moved into using the labs with the Windows 3.1, I kind of completely ignored the VAX and the DOS labs entirely. And then later that year, because I was going to the University of Illinois at Chicago, which is the sister school of University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. That's, of course, the school that's the home of the Illini. We had the Flames, but we were sister schools. And there came out a product out of UIUC called Mosaic, which was the first really popular graphical browser out there. Before that, the only popular browser that I remember was one called Lynx, which was everything was text only. And while I was doing a lot of things in the text-only areas with chatting on a system called IRC, Internet Relay Chat, and then using Usenet, which I've been using for a couple of years at this point, but that was sort of, I guess, like an early bulletin board. Like it was similar to the bulletin boards, like an early forum kind of a thing where people would post under a specific topic and then other people would reply to it and that kind of thing. So before the web kind of really launched, I know the web officially launched in 1990, but before Mosaic I never really did much with the web. Most of my time on the internet was spent with email, Usenet, and IRC, and that was about it. But then Mosaic came out with this graphical interface, and all of a sudden people could put pictures on their web pages. And once again that piqued my interest, and I was like, oh wow, okay, I love this. It just, you know, started me down the road that eventually led me to my career today. If I hadn't had the interest in the web that I did at the time, I would never have wanted to create my own web pages and that kind of thing. So I still remember all of that, and just spending a lot more time on campus when I was done with work and school, just so that I can play on those computers a little bit more, because at home I didn't have a computer, and I remember looking into trying to get my own computer at the time, and I think it was like $4,000 or $5,000, and there was absolutely no way we could afford that. I ultimately ended up buying a Brother typewriter that came with its own CRT screen. It was sort of a black with orange text CRT, and it had just enough memory in it to store a 20 to 40 page paper. So when I was at home on the weekends, I could write up a paper on that CRT screen and then let it type out the paper for me. So that was kind of cool. But that was about the closest thing I had to a computer at home at that time. So I spent a lot of time on campus playing with those computers. But, yep, that was the big thing that I remember from 1992. Alright, until tomorrow. Bye.